morning, I am Praram Badhal. Let's begin with the main stories. Bodies of the 7 deceased in the ill-fated helicopter crash kept at Turikal for condolences. Final rites of Minister Adhikari to be performed today. Death of Minister Adhikari, a huge loss for the campaigns of youth politicians. Contemporary leaders say the nation lost a visionary politician. Against the Mahakali Treaty, India unwilling to provide water to Nepal. Both nations firm in their stance regarding Pancheshwar DPR dispute. Experts say political level remedy required. Bodies of the 7 deceased in the ill-fated helicopter crash that took place in Taplejung, including that of Tourism Minister Ravindra Adhikari, were brought to the capital yesterday. The bodies were flown to the capital by a Nepal Army chopper. Deputy Prime Minister Ishwar Pokhrel, Home Minister Rambahadur Thapa and heads of the state security had reached Tribhuvan International Airport to receive the bodies. Leaders and cadres of the ruling Nepal Communist Party and relatives of the deceased were seen grieving as the bodies arrived at the airport. The bodies were taken to Tribhuvan University Teaching Hospital for autopsy yesterday. The bodies have been kept at Turikal ground till 11 a.m. for well-wishers to pay their last tributes to the deceased. Minister Adhikari's last rites will be carried out at his hometown Pokhara later today. NCP has announced it will hold a program on the 7th of March to pay condolences to the late minister. Likewise, the House of Representatives postponed the session scheduled for yesterday to mourn the loss of the lives. The death of an emerging face in Nepal's mainstream politics, Ravindra Adhikari, has affected the morale of young politicians in the country. Many political analysts are of the view that Nepal has lost a genuine politician and a leader. Ravindra Adhikari was considered an individual with the ability to take his critics and those with differing opinions along with him, even as a rookie member of the Students' Union during the start of his political career. His passion for politics never faltered, whether at the protests staged by his party or at the parliament, making him as one of the most hopeful and among the top youth leaders of the nation. His initiatives as the chairman for the Development Committee was widely appreciated. However, Adhikari's death has dented Nepal's politics and development efforts.
असामयिक निधनपछि समाजका हरेक तह र तबकाका मानिसले उहाँलाई जुन ढंगले श्रद्धा व्यक्त गरेका छन्, सम्झिरहेका छन्, यसले रविन्द्र अधिकारीले चाहिँ व्यापक र फराकिलो दायरामा आफूलाई उपस्थित गराउनु भएको रहेछ भन्ने मलाई आज अनुभूति भयो। त्यसकारणले एउटा अपूरणीय क्षति नेपालको राजनीतिमा, त्यसमा पनि खास गरी नयाँ पुस्ताको राजनीतिमा, नयाँ पुस्ताका केही आशलाग्दा विभिन्न पार्टीभित्रका आशलाग्दा केही व्यक्तिमध्येमा उहाँलाई चिनिन्थ्यो।
Adhikari was popular not just among his own party cadres, but with those from the opposition as well. His contemporaries remember him as a leader who had the ability to make the right interferences in any intra-party disputes to clear ways for a conducive environment. The youth leaders of opposition have also stated they have lost a capable and genuine competitor.
रविन्द्र अधिकारीसँग केही गरौँ भन्ने भावना प्रचुर थियो र त्यो भावना मात्रै हैन, यसरी गरौँ भन्ने खालको दृष्टिकोण पनि थियो र यसरी गरौँ भनिसकेपछि म त्यसमा संलग्न हुन्छु यसरी भन्ने खालको पनि थियो। त्यसकारण रविन्द्र अधिकारीको विदाईले नेपालको पछिल्लो हाम्रो पुस्ताले भोलि मुलुकलाई हाँक्दै गर्दा, मुलुकलाई संयोजन गर्ने सन्दर्भमा, फरक विचारहरूलाई संयोजन गर्ने सन्दर्भमा एउटा महत्त्वपूर्ण सेतु गुमाएको छ। तर यो भोलिको लागि रोपिदै गरेको एउटा बिरुवा चाहिँ निमुठिँदै गर्दा, नियतिले उमाउँदै गर्दाखेरि अहिलेकै राजनीतिलाई पनि, अहिलेकै समाजलाई पनि, अहिलेको देशलाई पनि रविन्द्र अधिकारीको विदाई मार्फत क्षति पुग्योस्।
Adhikari started his political career as a member of the Students' Union 3 decades back. Over the course of time, his participation, cooperation and collaboration, even with his competitors, had earned him laurels, setting an exemplary case for everyone. Aviation pioneer and hospitality entrepreneur Ang Chering Sherpa was killed in the Taplejung helicopter crash alongside Tourism Minister and 5 others on board. Sherpa, who entered the tourism industry with humble beginnings as a kitchen boy, has invested around 30 billion rupees in hotels, airlines and trekking sectors. Angchering Sherpa is the brother-in-law of Nepal's first woman to scale the Mount Everest, Pasang Lambu Sherpa. Starting from scratches in the tourism and hospitality sector, Sherpa went on to make a strong presence in the industry and is remembered even by his competitors as an industrious individual who worked tirelessly not just for his own companies, but also stood by the aviation industry in times of crisis. The helicopter which crashed also belonged to late Sherpa's own company Air Dynasty. Yeti Airlines, Himalaya Airlines, and Tara Air are also under Sherpa's ownership. Sherpa's adventure travel company Thamserku is considered pioneer in mountaineering aviation. Sherpa has also invested in Yeti Mountain Resort in Solukhumbu, Kasara Resort in Chitwan, Gokarna Forest Resort in Kathmandu, and the under-construction 5-star hotel Mechi Crown in Jhapa. At a time when many youth from the mountainous region were leaving Nepal after a brief stint in the trekking industry, Angchering Sherpa chose to stay home and invest in domestic industries. He has not just provided employment for many Nepalese, as he had made notable contributions in the national economy by bringing home tourists through his companies. Angchering had wished to operate cable car in Patibara Taplejung, for which he had reached Taplejung with the tourism minister. Ironically, he lost his life in Patibara region itself. Angchering is survived by his wife and 2 sons, one of whom is a pilot with Yeti Airlines. India has rejected Nepal's request to let Nepal use the waters of Mahakali River, which is against the Mahakali Treaty signed between the two nations back in 1996. As the southern neighbor denied implementing the treaty, the meeting of experts under the Pancheshwar Development Authority has ended inconclusively yet again. Based on the Clause 4 of the Mahakali Treaty, India should provide Nepal 10 cubic meters of water per second for irrigating the lands at Dodhara Chandani. However, as India did not implement the treaty, Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli had urged government officials to specially raise the issue. Following the 2-day meeting that started the day before yesterday, experts of the Indian side have suggested that the issue should be settled from the political level itself. Likewise, the two sides could not reach an agreement on the division of the water of Sharda River either. While the Indian side has been demanding they get to use half of the water at the upper and the lower Sharda River, Nepal has not decreased its use, citing such provisions are not included in the treaty. This has directly affected the preparation of detailed project report (DPR) of the Pancheshwar project. An Indian company had prepared a draft for the project's DPR 2 years ago. However, the project, that is to produce 4,800 megawatt of electricity, has not moved ahead as the two sides have failed to reach an agreement. Now moving on, at a time when domestic resources and investments are inadequate in attaining the prosperity goals set by the Oli government, foreign investment is deemed imperative. Despite Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli and Finance Minister Yuvraj Khatiwada reaching several international forums to invite foreign investment in Nepal, investors have yet to be attracted. We have a report. Of amending half a dozen laws and expediting formulation of new laws with the objective of winning the confidence of foreign investors who are set to participate at the upcoming investment summit to be hosted by the Investment Board Nepal Aviation in March, the assets of Ansel were attacked across the country. A person was killed while 2 others were injured. Addressing the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland on the 22nd of January earlier this year, Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli had claimed that Nepal would become one of the fastest growing economies in the next few years. Premier Oli had particularly stressed on political stability and his government's priority for social justice.
The treatment to foreign investors is...
Likewise, in his inaugural speech at Kantipur conclave 2 weeks ago, Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli sent across a message to investors around the world, saying that if they had been waiting for the most appropriate time for investing in Nepal, it was now. Despite signing the letter of intent for investment worth above $13.51 billion with foreign investors in the previous investment summit held in 2017, the government largely failed to capitalize the investment intents.
So there is a difference between pledges and actualization of investment. We are weak on many fronts. We are weak on attracting foreign investors, making it easier for them to register their firm in our country, bringing foreign workers to work in their plants or firms, and then repatriating their profits. Our bureaucracy is not very friendly to foreigners. For example, if you want to get a work permit for workers, then you have to get somewhere between 32 to 36 signatures right now. It's a very cumbersome process. So we have to be competitive on all these fronts, and the competition comes from other third world countries which offer maybe cheap labor like we do, like Cambodia, like Myanmar, Bangladesh, and Vietnam. So we should understand that it's especially low technology firms, it's a global competition. There is a global competition in attracting foreign investment, and we have to be competitive. It's not enough to improve within our country. We have to be better than other countries.
The attack on the assets of a private sector company just ahead of the government's planned investment summit could rock the confidence of the investors. Since the attack came at a time when the private sector and the government have been advocating Nepal as safe and as an appropriate environment for business, it could tarnish Nepal's image in the international arena.
Now with this attack that happened at Ensel, not only at the Ensel's headquarter office, but also the different base tower stations throughout Nepal, in different regions in Nepal, that now how investors look at that will be a question. Now if they see that as a one-off incident, then that may not really have an impact on their confidence level to make investments in Nepal. But if they see that as an investment, that is a broader pattern against actions, broader pattern of actions against companies that are owned by foreign investors or foreign-owned investment assets or facilities in Nepal. And if the second case, and if second case is what the perception would be from the foreign investors, I think that will likely have a huge impact in future investment decisions that any investors would make in Nepal.
Despite Home Minister Ram Bahadur Thapa hailing the country's security management as top class, attacks as such on Ensel happening in several locations, including inside the capital, has raised serious questions towards the preparedness or lack of it and response to ensure security for the public and businesses. If Nepal is to win the confidence of foreign investors and assure the conversion of investment intents, the upcoming investment summit must prioritize in ensuring hassle-free legal environment with security of their assets being of paramount concern for the government. With Harisharan Thimil Sinha and Rajendra Maharjan in camera, Prarma Dahal for Kantipur News. Majority of the government offices established to provide services to the public are mostly crowded since the early hours itself. Every service seeker wants to get the work done as soon as possible. However, public officials and middlemen at these government offices take advantage of people's urgency most of the time. In this context, we had asked the service seekers at Land Revenue Office at Simera Bara what problems have they been facing while getting their works done out there. Let us now take a look
public
at what
voice.
they have to say.
भ्रष्टाचारी बढ्दैछ जसले पैसा दिन्छ उसको काम हुन्छ जसले दिदैन उसको काम हुँदैन
मान्छे हेरेर कस्तो प्रकारको मान्छे आउँछ त्यही प्रकारले काम गरिरहेछ दुब्लो र बलियो खसीलाई चुन्छ नि मान्छेले त्यस्तै किसिमको चुनाइ छ
धेरै चाहिने टाइम चाहिने लाग्छ हाम्रो समस्या भनेको त्यही हो कि अब एउटा डिस्ट्रिक्ट बन्धकमा हाम्रो चाहिने दिनभरि चाहिने कुरेर चाहिने बस्नुपर्छ
आज नेट छैन एक घण्टा पछि 2 घण्टा पछि नेट आउँछ अनि मात्र कुरा हुन्छ भनेर सेवाग्राहीहरूलाई त्यहाँका कर्मचारीहरूले दुःख दिइरहेको
कुनै काममा अब दिनभरि कुरेर बस्दा यो कोठा कुद्दा थक्छ मान्छे अलिकति पैसा घुस भएपछि तपाईको काम लास्टमा हुन्छ
कुनै ठाउँमा लेखेको पनि छैन कि यो रजिस्ट्रेसन पास गर्नको लागि यति शुल्क चाहिन्छ कसैले 3000 भनिरहेछ कसैले 5000 भनिरहेछ अब कुन ठाउँमा मतलब लाग्छ त्यो हामीले पनि मतलब बताइरा छैन एक मुष्ट भने चाहिँ यति पैसा लाग्छ गभर्नमेन्टले कम से कम यो कुरालाई प्रदर्शित गरिदिनु पर्छ
It is now time for our segment Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion.
Public Pulse.
The question is, why has adequate human resource failed to clear the Prime Minister Employment Program exam? Your options are A, competent, not participating, and B, poor education system. The voting is on. You can type NEWS, select your option A or B, and then send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. And now before we wrap up, here's a look at the top stories one more time. Bodies of the 7 deceased in the ill-fated helicopter crash kept at Tudikal for condolences. Final rites of Minister Adhikari to be performed today. Death of Minister Adhikari, a huge loss for the campaigns of youth politicians. Contemporary leaders say the nation lost a visionary politician. Against the Mahakali Treaty, India unwilling to provide water to Nepal. Both nations firm in their stance regarding Pancheshwar DPR dispute. Experts say political level remedy required.